Welcome to Pokemon Go Ahead. I'm Alex Gum, aka Cheekley. And yes, I got a haircut. I want to look good before I fly out to New York. Which, by the way, the New York City Go Fest is going to be on August 18th to the 20th. We're going to be playing the park experience on Saturday morning at Randall's Island Park. So if you're planning on being there, hope to see you. Otherwise, I'm going to be around the city on Friday and Sunday and part of Saturday just trying to get shiny Pokemon. We just had the London and Osaka Go Fest last weekend, and it looked like it was fun. I wish I was there, but just watching everybody playing and seeing what they're posting on X and Threads and Discord and everything, and YouTube, it seemed like there was a lot going on that was added in, like Rotom Frost, the details on every research, and other bonuses and other features that you should know if you're gonna go to New York City that could also happen in New York City. So before we dive into all of that, be sure to subscribe, hit the thumbs up because I told you to, and hit the notification bell, and then let me know in the comments below. Are you going to New York City for Go Fest? Last year for Go Fest, if you went to either Sapporo, Berlin, or Seattle, it's pretty much the same thing. If you're in the park, the first 2 minutes of each hour would have unknowns spawning, and you would just have to quickly tap on everything to get a shiny check before those 2 minutes were up. It seemed like it was the exact same thing during Go Fest, and it may happen again in New York City. If you're playing in the park, you'll definitely see more spawns for unknown for those 2 minutes. If it's 9 o'clock, it'll be from 9 a.m. to 9:02 a.m., and then it's just regular spawns throughout the park until 10 o'clock till 10:02, etc. If you're playing in the city, it'll have the same thing. It just won't have as much of a drastic drop of unknown as the park experience. So if you're gonna be playing in New York, you're most likely gonna see some unknown. Set a timer for like 5 minutes before an hour starts, and then just focus on the unknown for those 2 minutes. Especially since Shiny Unknown exclamation point is gonna be appearing during New York City, and if you're lucky, you may even get a shiny. So if you can see an unknown exclamation point, try to tap on it. You may get a shiny. The next thing I wanna talk about are the snapshots. I was hoping that a Rotom form would be featured, and we were right. I was predicting a heat form, but instead we got the frost form, which is like the ice type fridge form of Rotom. So I think it might be one snapshot a day. If that's the case, we can at least guarantee ourselves 3 since we're playing all 3 days. That's really great that we got a brand new Rotom form. We all know that Carbink is some Pokemon that is featured in research, and it's also been said that it's also appearing in incense, but every time that you see a Carbink, catch it, because you may get at least one Mega Energy from Diancie. Now granted, Carbink and Diancie are not in an evolution family, but for some reason Carbink gives you Mega Energy for a mythical, which is weird, but cool at the same time if you need some extra Mega Energy for Mega Diancie. Speaking of Mega Diancie, there is a special research that you can do at the park, and all you need to do is make sure that you at least complete the second step of that special research when you're at the park. The steps are simple, but you have to be in all 4 habitats to complete that task. Because from then on, you can just finish it whenever you want, whether you're at the park or not. But as long as you finish step 2 of the research, which is like spin 5 Pokestops in this habitat, or take a snapshot of this Pokemon in this habitat. So if you're there in person, take advantage of the special research that is specifically at the park for the Go Fest. Another research is the city experience, where you get Mega Energy for Mega Rayquaza. Yes, you can get Mega Energy for doing Mega Rayquaza raids, but instead of 200 or plus, you are going to be getting at least 70 to 90 depending on how fast you take this Pokemon down. Also, another thing I should mention about raids, especially for Mega Rayquaza, the ready button is available. So if you have a full lobby, the countdown will automatically set to 10 seconds left and you're all ready to raid. So then that way you're all not just like sitting ducks waiting for an extra minute for all these 20 people in a raid to jump in. So if you got like 7 people and all of you are ready and no one's gonna jump in, just hit the ready button, and when all 7 people say they're ready, then the raid will begin, like setting up to 10 seconds before you jump in. And then I didn't talk about this other feature, but when you're in raids, it seems like you can add friends that you're not friends with in that raid lobby. So if, for example, if you're in a raid with Mystic 7 and you're lucky, you can even add him as a friend. Well, that is if Mystic 7 has any more room for his friends list. But in general, you can just simply add a friend in the raid lobby when you're about to start a raid, which is actually pretty interesting. The field research is pretty straightforward. You just spin a Pokestop in a certain habitat in the park, and it'll give you a certain encounter. When it was the dark jungle habitat, it would be like Jupiter spawns, and if it were the fairy garden, it would be Patilil, and the volcanic one was for Lucario. So when we go to New York, there's a chance that the poison swamp will have Skrelp encounters for a field research task. Or if you're in the Cursed Treasures, it could be Golett. Or if you're in the Athletic Field, it could be Lucario spawns. But in the Prehistoric Volcano, however, it could be like Tyrant, it could be Kangaskhan, it could be Aerodactyl with the Satchel, it could be one of those three. You'll also get collection challenges for each habitat as well. If you catch every single thing that's spawning in each habitat, you can complete the collection challenges and then claim them to get some encounters. We could assume that we can get an encounter for Skrelp, we can get an encounter for Golett, maybe Lucario, and for Prehistoric, it could be either Kangaskhan, Aerodactyl with a Satchel, or Tyrant. But I'm gonna say Aerodactyl with a Satchel just because I feel like that's the most likely to be it. Then we have the Go for Gold time research. Now, if you are playing with a ticket in New York City, you may want to take advantage of this time research. It's a very simple time research. It's just 3 steps. The first step should be simple. The second one should include a route. And if you're in New York City, there should be some routes around the city. So you just gotta find one that looks safe and just complete it. And then the third step is just autocomplete. Take advantage of it. I would recommend for the time research, just finish it on the first day you're playing because it's not a special research. And finally, just from feedback from London and Osaka, it seems like the shiny spawns were amazing. The rates for that are amazing, especially at the park. People in the city got a fair amount. Although the stops and the spawns were all scattered around in the city of whether it's London or Osaka. And I've been into New York before, and surprisingly, the stops and the spawns are all spread out too. It's a good thing it's that way because you could explore and then you could just try to tap on stuff. I remember that when I went to downtown Las Vegas for Hoenn Tour, when they gave us those extra few hours to play in the city-wide part, when they try and make up with some errors during the park experience, we did get 10 shinies by just walking around the entire downtown Vegas strip and got a good amount of shinies. So if you're in New York City and you're playing the city part of it instead of the park version of it, do note that they're all just scattered around instead of all being in one section in a park, okay? Because the park experience is all condensed, and that's where you're gonna get a bunch of spawns and encounters, as opposed in the city where it's all spread out. So just keep that in mind when you're playing those cities, okay? Don't expect to be in one little spot and expect like 30 spawns in a little area. But I mean, if you do, then you're just lucky. In another video, we're going to be breaking down an overview on how to be ready for the New York City Go Fest now that we got some updates about everything that we know about so far. Also, we have some notes about some 10-kilometer eggs, but unfortunately they're just like regular spawns, so we're not going to talk about it. And the 7-kilometer eggs seem to have special Pokemon featured, but there's no shiny boost. So honestly, it's nothing much to focus on unless you want to hatch eggs. But otherwise, guys, that's all that we have for today's video. Stick around for another video or two, and we will see you guys next time. Peace out.